Your dad started working with you when you were probably not much bigger than a basketball. Did you really and truly put in all that time as a real youngster with it?
Oh, I put in so much time playing the game of basketball that everything else was just, I forgot about it. As a kid, my dad taught me everything about the game. The only thing I had to do was go practice it, and I practiced during the summer months, starting when I was 5 and 6 years old, 8 hours a day. Then when I had to go to school, I would go to school, and after school was over, I would get out of school about 2:30, 3 o'clock, go right to the YMCA and play for 4 hours. My dad would pick me up, and I'd go home and do the same thing every day. It was, but I loved it. I was usually the only one in the gymnasium on a weekend because everybody else was out where I was living at the time in South Carolina. It wasn't, a great social place to be, and plus I was only 8 and 9 years old. I didn't care too much socially about anything. So the fact remained that I just played the game, and I used to just, carry basketball everywhere I went. People thought I was a freak for doing that because, they thought it was part of me. I mean, it really was. I knew when I was 10 years old I was going to be playing professional basketball because I couldn't see how I would ever miss playing this much. I had to, and I just kept playing and playing. That's it.
Did you ever look back and regret that? Do you ever feel that you missed anything in your childhood because of that?
No, I don't think so. I think that any kid growing up today, I think if he wants to become involved in athletics, say for example, he has to choose. He has to choose his particular sport by at least the 6th or 7th grade nowadays, because of the fact that everything is so specialized that there's no room anymore for the great 4-letter man in every sport. To choose at the end of his college career, I think I'll go to this and play this, because it's just too specialized. There's too many kids playing in playgrounds all over the world that are just wanting an opportunity to be able to make their living this particular way. So I think it's getting this way in just about everything, and so I didn't really regret it. I loved it. I loved basketball just about more than anything in the world.
Now, you are having a good year. You're averaging about 25 points a game the last time I looked anyway, and you're leading the team in assists. You had an 18 assist in a game about a week ago, I saw. Do you come out of a game, do you feel a little extra good if you did get a lot of assists? Do you enjoy that part of the game?
Well, I get more enjoyment out of my assists than anything else. Assist to me means much more to me, and especially the way you go about making an assist. I still believe, and always will believe, it is a spectator sport, and I think that you have to have devious ways to go about getting something done. Not necessarily all the time, but you will be put in situations where you might have to throw behind the back pass because the guy may all of a sudden appeared and you didn't see him, and you had to get rid of the ball, and you just happened to throw it behind your back and scored. And I think it's very good for the sport.
Do you, you say you look at the game partially as entertainment. Bob Cousy played here for many years, would do the same thing. Was a fantastic ball handler as you are, and I'm sure you probably have seen old films of Cousy and people like that. Do you think that it's right to do those kind of things, to not showboat really, but you are performing?
Well, that's actually what it's all about, and I don't think anybody is really showboating when they go into different things. You can pick out some prime examples of individuals who play the game that way, and actually I've always thought of it as not showboating, but as a deceptive type method of getting things done. I might come down the court and throw a particular pass that my opponent will not know where the ball is going to if I throw it, whereas if I throw a regular, fundamental, basic chest pass to an individual going in there, he knows it's going there. He has a chance to make the steal, or he has a chance to get back under the basket. No. But if you come down and throw a deceptive type pass, and as long as you're on target, of course then you get to share partially the blame if the individual that you're playing with doesn't catch the ball, hits him in the head. I've always, growing up, I always felt that it was always the other guy's fault because of the fact that hell, I made the pass there. You should have caught it. But if he doesn't know it's coming either, it's a little bit deceiving to say that, you know, it's just his fault. I have changed my concept in that respect.
As most outstanding offensive performers in college basketball, was it difficult for you to learn pro defense? I can imagine it is for most kids coming out of school.
Well, not particularly. I was never known as a defensive player because I usually guarded the guy on the other team that was going to become your future newscaster or your future lawyer or
couldn't put the ball in the hoop no matter what.
No, he couldn't do it, you know. So I had a reputation of not playing the game of defense. The game of defense is not naturally played just with intestinal fortitude, and you have to have a very basic mental awareness of what's going on out in the court. That's the most important thing, to know when and when not to maybe to slide with a certain individual, when to pick, when not to, when to switch, and so forth. You have to be mentally aware, but it's professional basketball is such on a team level that it's not really up to one basic individual to play defense. You know, you have to have help. You have to, and that's why your great teams like Boston and your New Yorks are great team defensive clubs. Mm-hmm. And this is what you have to have if you're going to go all the way.
This is now your third year in the league. You've had some physical problems. Is it too strenuous?
Oh, definitely. I get killed. That's about the only thing. When a guy's picked on a certain all-star team, it just means more punishment, actually. And you have there's so much movement in the game of basketball that there are more offensive picks made that are not called because of the fact that there's so much motion involved that people are running into each other, and people that are maybe a little bit smaller or weigh a little bit less than another guy is going to take the brunt of the whole situation. So it's more physical. I think the people on the ground level can see this, because I've had a lot of fans and a lot of people comment on the fact that they really have seen basketball for the first time, professional level, and that it was just so much contact they couldn't believe it. A person that is located way up in the boondock seats doesn't really visualize or see what's going on the court as far as the physical aspect of the game. But it is quite strenuous when you have to play over 100 games packed in about a 5.5 month period. Plus you travel on the road 2-3 weeks at a time a lot of times, and when you got to play 4, 5, 6 games in a week, it definitely gets to you.
Do you look at the game any differently now than when you first came into the league? Do you still get excited about games, or is it now just something you do for a living?
Well, I do it. The main reason I play basketball is for one objective, and that is to win the world championship. Personally, I don't have anything that I want to obtain on the professional level. I've just feel like ever since I was 12 years old that I wanted to become a professional basketball player, and I wanted to become a world champion, to be able to walk down the street and everybody knows that you have been successful in your field. I think it has to do with everybody in every type of business, no matter what it is. This is my only goal. This is the only reason I will stay in the game, is to get this. I don't plan on playing the game like most hardcore, I guess you'd call it, veterans that stay in 12, 15, 16 years. I plan on, if I was to be lucky enough or opportune arises that I was on a championship team, I would get out.